So today we are going to make a wing. And we're going to make it out of that. So I'm going to put you on pause. I'm going to basically take my template. Let's say I wanted to make this Batwing design. Eventually I will make this. Take this, put it over the template like that. Now when I'm cutting, I'm gonna tape this on, and then I'm going to cut around it on the outside of it, giving myself as much room as I can so that I can make it as big as possible, or you can just kind of extend your lines and make it fit, right? So I could put it out to here because this is a good thickness for the wing. I mean, it's thicker than some of these. This will be a good wing for a beginner type flyer, potentially, if I do it right, and I'm going to, and this will actually be a future one. But today we're not doing that one. We're doing something sort of similar. I've just given a quick draw. This was the initial drawing. And I drew two back lines for it just to see what it would look like with the curved and with the straight. I actually want to do it with the straight back today. And we're going to do a fairly beginner version of this. So I drew some milder cutouts in the back of it and on a bigger version, so that I can have a couple different sets of lines to look at when I'm doing my cut. But I'll keep it like this and then just put it over top of my pattern and cut it out. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll be right back. And then I'll trim it and make them symmetrical, and we'll go from there and build us an aircraft. Alright, so here's a rough cutout of what I'm thinking I want my wing to be. And this would be an interesting one because it'd work both directions. I could set it up this way and fold this edge up, and it becomes a nice little lip for a nice slow indoor flyer. That's a good thing. And then two of these flip onto these. So what you do is you cut them out, get them ready. Now I can just tape my template in place. As you can see, it fits just fine. And that's the real trick, is making the wing so it fits within the given parameters that you have. Now you can see what your actual wingspan will be here. Because we're looking at 5.5 inches, we know we're looking at an 11-inch aircraft. If I wanted to upsize that, I could just set it in place and draw my lines out to match, or just cut it. I just put it on by eye and then cut it out. And it always works out because you can go, I basically take as little off as I can and achieve the shape I want lengthwise. And that way I can do one of these where I basically put the tip out and set everything in place that way so that we have the closest inner dimension we can get. And I still have to adjust this just because of the way it's set up, just so that all the points are on it. And then, and I mean all the points, you see that? I don't want this to fold down, right? This is a little lip. See the little tiny white line here? See that? It's nice. It's a little tiny lip that goes all the way across, and I put the tip to that lip. This doesn't have it on this corner, so we're okay. It's already trimmed off. And this has to be to the edge and no more, and then we're good to go. So if you're comfortable holding it like that, just hold it and cut it, and that's what I'm going to do. I'll just hold it and make one cut, then trim out here, and around, and we're good to go. Then I take that template, put it up against the other one so that I'm making them both the same. Then I continue to check them, and that's about it. It's a really simple process, so I'm going to do that. I'll be right back. Alright, so as you can see, that part is complete, and what we've done here is actually slightly change the shape. As you can see, I added one more piece at the back, and I find it gives it a better look. So here is the finished template for our prototype wing. And now I'm going to make a second one just by putting one over top of the other, folding it in place, and cutting it out. And that's it. So I'm going to take my time, line that up, and do that. I'll be right back. Alright, so one of the things to watch for is because when I trimmed them out, I didn't trim them out exactly the same size. One had a little more material on it than the other. When I redid it, I actually had to change some of where the points were because I did it on the bigger one, so the points were up high, and then I had to cut deeper in and readjust where these go. But the end result is looking pretty sweet. And I bet you if I take these two and make a wing out of it, it's going to be a pretty sweet wing, guys. So this is going to be an aircraft. During the course of this video, we are going to build it right up for you, because in the end, if you take these two and you put them together, this is actually going to be pretty cool in the air, right? I'd say so. And I actually like where my shapes are at. They actually are a great shape for a flying aircraft. And I think this is going to handle really locked in. This will be a really nice flyer, guys. So now we have the goal of making a tail. And I still got to go over this and make it all symmetrical before I put it on the aircraft. Smush down the leading edges like I showed you. Something like this does a great job of that. I recommend it. Better than a lighter. A lighter tends to leave little marks. That really just leaves nice, straight, perfect marks that you can really make a bit artistic, and it actually works. But yeah, they came out pretty well. So now that I'm happy with my wing shape, if I wasn't, and for some reason I decided, oh, this sucks, I'm not going to fly this, but I recommend if you design something, try it and fly it. Now, you'll notice these are kind of sticking together and we're being a pain in the butt. I've got a static pad here. Once I touch it and hold it for a couple of seconds, I can put it down here. Only look, because it's not on the static pad. I can put this whole thing onto the static pad, and all of a sudden that goes away. Watch this. Clear off my static pad so this actually makes contact with it, and put it onto my static pad, and now I'll be able to put things on it without them flying off. But I got to give it time to do its job, and I have to be touching the static pad, which is creepy. Apparently it's going to take a while, because this has a lot of static charge built up in it. Look at this. This is why I like to work on a static pad, and I don't work on this thing. Because with the static pad, it only works if you're working on top of it. But watch this. So we'll take this, we'll put it away, and I'll show you why I like to work on this. It's out of a keyboard. Isn't that nice? Second it touches it, no problem anymore. Now I can work on this all I want with as many little pieces of foam as I want, and they don't stick to me, which is kind of epic. Anyway, so I'm going to show you guys the next step. I have to build a tail for this, but I have an idea of what my tail will look like, and when I am finished, it will be a sick looking aircraft. And one more cool design from RXD. Truth is, cool designs are actually pretty easy for me to come up with, because I have so many ideas, guys. It'd take me years to build them all. I love aircraft. I grew up studying aircraft, and there's always so many I've had ideas for and wanted to do, and now doing RC, I can actually build stuff. Like, look at the shapes on this. That's actually great for inside the body. And this shape will have an interesting impact on the way that the wing handles. It'll be really locked in. This will be a sick wing. So, just to show the difference, I mean, I go to put it down on this, it literally won't stay on top of it. I can't make it stay together. And that's a real pain in the butt when you're trying to work with this kind of stuff. But, pretty straightforward, pretty sweet. I'm going to let you guys go, and I will show you guys in the next video the rest of this build. But for now, I thought I'd show you how to template a wing and how to make it work. It's really easy. You just draw it out. Outside the edge, make it as big as you possibly can, and that's it. Next thing you know, you trim it out, and you can readjust the shape while you're trimming if you have to, which I did in both cases, because I made both slightly different from the drawing. One, I decided to change something on the tip and on the inner edge, and on the other one I decided to add an extra divot. There were only two here before, and they were big, and like here. And I wanted it to be different. I decided I wanted this to be the front of the wing here, and this to be the back of the wing, and I wanted it to be a real particular shape. I just kind of went with my instinct, and I liked it. I like it a lot. See this wave shape? That's going to be sick, believe it or not. For roll rate and stuff like that, it's because it's got some width, but it's not too wide. I mean, check this out. The P-51s are wider. It's kind of right in between the two of these for roll rate. You know, only it's not, because this doesn't have the sharp rounded tips. This has something else. So those ones are fighter This won't be a fighter plane, guys. This will be a beginner-friendly aircraft that actually looks cool and flies slow, slow, slow. But you could take it outside if you want, jam up the throttle, and go a little faster, no doubt. But look at that. Isn't that cool looking? Anyway, this is going to be my Batwing. Big shock. Amazing that I'm calling it this. I mean, who'd call this a Batwing? Keith out.